my shorts.
We're taking a small break over the holidays and we'll return with brand new episodes in early February 2022. Until then, I'll be delivering a number of compilation episodes showcasing the best moments from 2021. Episodes regularly go out every Monday on all major podcast platforms, including Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon, and Audible. A visual element is also available on YouTube, which goes out 2 days earlier to Patreon supporters on Saturdays. So if you'd like your early access, head to patreon.com/Dave Lee Down Under. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the like button down below. If you're listening on the podcast platforms, please leave a review and a rating. It really helps. Please enjoy the best of the Dave Lee Down Under podcast 2021, Part 4.
Oh, I got water on the desk. I got water on the mixer. Oh no. It didn't get into it. Ah, jeez. Hello. Hello everybody. Welcome to the Dave Lee Down Under podcast. I'm of course your host Dave Lee. This is episode 29. Can't believe it. 29 episodes. We had a bit of a near disaster coming in. We didn't do a regular show last week, so I've forgotten what to do. Come in, spill the water everywhere, got on the mixer desk a little bit. Oh, I forgot to unmute you again. Hang on.
You want to try it again?
No, we'll just keep going. Jesus. I'm all
you
over
can
the
just
place.
sort of walk out now and come back in.
Okay, let's just do it again. All right, guys. Yep. Keep the music going. You ready? Oh, headphones off. All right, you ready? Oh no! Oh, it's a disaster! It's a disaster! No! Oh, Jesus. Oh, Christ. Oh, we shouldn't have done that. Oh, those watching are getting the full experience out there. We've had a disaster. We're going to try and... Oh, I'm stepping on ice now. Jesus, shit. Fucking hell, man. He's got up to do the intro again. Knocked the microphone off the desk.
Yeah.
The water's gone everywhere. The water's gone with it.
I tripped on the headphone cable.
Fucking hell, man. All right, we'll just leave it. Let's just sit down. Oh, my gosh.
Keep going.
What an intro. Right, okay, you want to do it again? Fucking hell. What are you doing? What are you doing? What?
Just try find something to clean the water
he's
up.
All right, I'll run it. I'll run the ship. You go and get a towel or something. Fucking hell, man. Fucking disaster. This is what I'm saying. I haven't fucking been off the air for shit. Righto. You can join me every single Monday here on the podcast. The podcast goes out on all major podcasting platforms. It includes Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon, and Audible. The visual elements available to view on YouTube, same day on the Monday. But if you're a Patreon supporter, you get that on 2 day early access on the Saturday, which... Oh, jeez. So if you want the early access, you can head over to patreon.com/Dave Lee Down Under. For as little as $1 a month, you can get that early access. Of course, the video podcasts have been migrated over to a new channel now, which is the Dave Lee Down Under podcast channel. You can find me on YouTube at Dave Lee Down Under, the regular channel, over on Twitter, Instagram, links in the description of every single podcast. You want to write into the show, daveleepod@gmail.com. And if you're listening on the podcasting platforms, you could please leave a review and a rating.
The rating of the start, that was probably a 0. Yeah. That was hilarious.
Jesus. Well, you just done it, and you're back in time for the music to finish, so well done.
Well, there you go.
Fucking hell.
Oh, buggered now.
Yeah, I've been working on...
Haven't stopped.
I haven't stopped. I've been working on the next evolution, which is... Because I've just got one up today. Disaster with that, by the way. Oh no, shit! I had my evolution Tasmanian Devil Taz. I had it scheduled for. Well, I always put my evolutions out on the Tuesday, so which is usually like the Wednesday morning here. So I had that scheduled. I was supposed to go out at 2 a.m. on the Wednesday, but I accidentally set it for 2 p.m. So what I usually do is, so when I schedule my video, I also schedule posts on Twitter and I schedule posts on the community board. So at 2 o'clock, well, whenever the video is scheduled, the video goes out and then the Twitter post goes out and then the community board, but all goes out at once. I've just all pre-scheduled. I don't have to worry about it at the time. So I've woken up in the morning to everything having gone live except for the video.
Oh, God.
150 comments by the morning. Where's the video? It's private. You're a liar, one guy says. Liar. Yeah, he was really angry, and people were like, chill out, man. It's probably just a
shit for free.
error.
Why are you getting angry?
Yeah, but there were actually people like chiming in like, just chill out. Just like, you'll have it soon. Just stop being so ungrateful. Liar, he says. Exclamation mark.
2 or 3 weeks making this thing.
I know. It pisses me off.
Shit.
Anyway. And then I've always got people like requesting new evolutions, and I've got dozens of people requesting new evolutions on this post of this video that hasn't even gone live yet. And like, just chill, just simmer down, guys. And then I had to post an update, which was like, I'm sorry, this accidentally happened. I'm going to reschedule it to tomorrow. And then I posted another post just to make sure people saw it. Of course, you can't, not everyone sees everything. So then throughout the next day, I'm still getting, what's happened? Where's the video? What's going on? It's not working. I'm saying it is working. I made a mistake.
There's a scheduling issue.
There's a scheduling issue. No, it's not working. The link's not working. I've explained this. I've told you 6 times. Anyway,
bloody hell.
So I was going to put up that next day. A bunch of news stuff dropped. So I did like 2 news videos in the morning. I had to do that. I did like a review for that exhibition that day. And then I had to drop a review as well for those who wish me dead. And YouTube will only send out 3 notifications to your subscribers within a 24-hour period. So I thought, fucking hell, I've dropped all these videos. I've dropped at least 3 videos throughout the day. If I put this evolution up, it's not going to go out to people. So I had to push it out another day.
God.
It's finally gone out last night. So anyway, that's out there, and I'm still...
Are they actually sending notifications out, or what? Are they still fucking around with it?
I don't know, but what I do now, just to make sure... Because last time with the Superman video, which didn't go out to people, notifications, they weren't getting the notifications, but they were seeing that community post where I asked why are people watching it. Everyone's like, I didn't get notified. So what I do now is every time a video goes out, I make a community board post as well.
Yeah, you have
just to make sure that it does get out to people in some way. I think it's working. We'll see. So anyway, I've been dealing with all this. I've been dealing with trying to getting that video done and then trying to sort out the scheduling. Meanwhile, in the background, I'm also working on the next evolution, which I'm hoping to launch by the end of the month. So you can have 2 this month, but I don't know if it's going to happen. I've got like 7 days in which I have to write it, record it, edit. It's only a short one though, so I'm hoping I can get it done in a week.
Just don't promise you'll have it done.
No, I'm not promising nothing.
No.
It'll be done by at least the end of next week, I'm sure, but it might not be as done as early as I hope.
Right.
So I am here in my FreeGuy t-shirt, my FreeGuy hat.
FreeGuy t-shirt?
I paid for it. My FreeGuy t-shirt, my FreeGuy hat, my FreeGuy mug. Got the FreeGuy Blu-ray right here.
Your free guy.
My free FreeGuy merch that Disney 20th Century Studios certainly did not send through to me. #FreeGuy.
No, because they don't send you anything, do they?
No, they don't send me anything. But it is out this week on Blu-ray, DVD, 4K, and it's on Disney Plus. You can stream it for free.
Can you?
Yeah, FreeGuy will be free on Disney Plus as long as you have a membership for Disney Plus. Oh, well, this is for Australia anyway. It's on Disney Plus Star, I believe, because there's a few naughty words and stuff in there.
Ooh.
Yeah. So there you go. You can check
what naughty words like bum and
stuff like that.
Booby.
Yeah. So if you want to check out FreeGuy, you can get it on all the major platforms. Available digitally as well. You can purchase the digital version.
They might say ass.
They might.
No, because that's not really American, is it? Ass?
Yeah. You ass.
Oh, yeah, but there's a different...
No, it's the same. We just spell it differently.
Because they sort of refer to ass as in donkey.
Yeah, but
don't they?
No.
Really?
They call each other ass. You ass.
Yeah, you donkey.
You asshole. Anyway.
Yeah, I suppose.
Anyway, so that's the FreeGuy plug. And we'll probably plug it again soon.
Oh, God.
If you're listening, you're missing out. You have to head to like Instagram
Go and have
YouTube.
a look. Go and have a look at what he's wearing.
Check it out. It's just my early FreeGuy, my early Halloween FreeGuy costume. That's all.
Great.
I'm just giving it a quick whirl. Might wear it again on the Halloween show. Who knows?
Oh, God.
There was another part they gave me. Sorry, I went and bought a pair of budgie smugglers too. It's like
Oh,
swimwear.
yeah. Where are they?
They're down there in the box. In the big box of FreeGuy merch that I certainly did not get for free. Big budgie smugglers. Budgie smugglers out there watching. The limited edition pair of FreeGuy merch.
FreeGuy across the arse there has some connotations.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Jeez. Well, there you go. That's the FreeGuy plug out of the way. What have we been up to this week? Oh, yeah, I was going to say, actually, the YouTube channel needs 200 more subs and 200 more watch hours for the monetization. So we're getting close. Bradley Kenneth, who wrote into us last week on Twitter, and he's the one who said he was just leaving it run and watching every episode. Mm-hmm. He said it was great to hear us talking about it on the podcast. And he also said that so far 37 episodes have been played in full. And he says he's watched every minute.
Every minute. Mm-hmm. He must be a tired boy.
I know.
Or bored as buggery.
Yeah, well, that too.
I wouldn't be sitting watching 37 episodes.
I told him I can't tell you to do otherwise. If you want him there, make sure you're watching it completely.
Boy, Bradley, get a life, mate.
Well,
keep watching.
Once you get to the end.
Yeah. Watch them all and then get a life.
Yeah.
And then come back every week.
Yeah.
And watch your full 2 hour. What are you doing?
I'm about to take a sip from my FreeGuy cup.
I just saw you hovering there. And I thought, what the fuck?
Just waiting to take a sip from the FreeGuy keep.
Oh, shit.
I won't call it a keep cup because I don't think it is officially actually a keep cup, but it's one of those coffee.
Yeah,
hard coffee.
And you
cups.
drink coffee too.
Yeah, of course I do. Lovely. Otherwise, didn't do much this week, hey? Other than become a corporate shill for the mouse. What's new?
Slave to the mouse.
Yeah. I had made another appearance on a program this week on television, network TV. I was on the weekly. I was going to say the weekly link, the weakest link,
missing link.
Yes, the weakest link. So we've gone from the Weekly Planet to the weakest link, which is of course that old British game show that was on here back in the 90s, maybe 2000s. And it's finally back. They've brought it back, and it's not doing well in the ratings. It's not doing very well. Hey, but this week was the first week it crossed the top 20.
Woo,
so
that's because you were on that.
All the Dave Lee Down Under fans out there tuning in. I rallied everyone. Come on, guys. Come on, everyone. All my followers, come and watch it. And we kicked it into like 20.
Four of you subscribers got on and doubled the viewership.
Yeah. Oh, no. Spit the water. The water's gone everywhere. Spit take.
Wouldn't be the first time.
No. Hey. So yeah. But look, I had fun doing the show. We spoke about it last week. If you want to hear kind of about my experience of getting on it and all that, we won't go over all of that again. No. What we'll do is we'll have a watch. I've segmented the show up into kind of the bits that I was featured in. I've cut out all the crap around the edges. So we'll just have a couple of listen to a couple of the little segments, or if you're out there watching, you'll get to the whole experience of viewing it too. And we'll just we'll have a nice little recap of my time on the weakest thing. We'll give a little reaction. I'll stop in between and we'll kind of have a laugh and whatever else. So let's pull it up. Firstly, I will pull up what is, I guess, the introduction to the show. And it'll give you a good idea of what you're in for with this new version of The Weakest Link.
Oh, yeah. It won't last long.
Tonight, 8 contestants must answer a range of tricky general knowledge questions. Only one will leave up to $250,000 richer. The other 7 will drive home in a miasma of recriminations and denial, muttering, "I'm glad I didn't win $250,000. I wouldn't know what to do with it anyway except be really happy." Let the emotional roller coaster begin on The Weakest Link.
Oh, there you go.
That echo's really scary.
That echo's awful, isn't it? There's like every time she says the weakest link, there's an echo. It's awful.
And she was in Babe, wasn't she?
Yeah, for all the international viewers out there, Magda Zubanski, she was in Babe. She was the
voice of the farmer's wife.
No, she was the farmer's wife. It was a live action film.
It was too. Yeah. What am I saying? Babe had a voice, and that was the voice actor.
Yeah, that was Christine Kavanagh.
Yeah,
the woman who voiced Chucky in the original series of Rugrats.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she retired.
I know that. Oh,
yeah. So Magda is the host. Again, if internationals out there, you recognise her as from Babe as the farmer's wife. But she's lovely though. She's fantastic. This show, no matter what you say about the show, she's lovely.
Yeah.
And again, another one of those people who you've just seen for years and are just fantastic. Just really, really terrific person.
Wasn't a disappointment to meet her.
No, not at all. It was really great. It was fun to just spend some time sort of in her presence. And she's there the whole time with everyone, and it's great. So that was the intro. Yeah, you've got an idea of what to expect from the show, though. So of course the next,
much.
Well, it almost people have been absolutely ragging on it, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. Surprised it hasn't been axed.
Yeah, well, I was thinking, oh my God, please don't axe this before my show.
That's wrong. That's wrong. You were saying, please axe it before my
so before I have to go on TV. Yeah, but if most of these game shows, if they don't play your episode, they don't have to pay you the money.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, that's what they tell you with Millionaire, isn't it?
I think it's Millionaire, yeah.
You only get paid if your episode goes to air.
Yeah, and they don't start the payment process until 30 days after your episode's gone to air.
Yeah, that's right.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Craziness.
Yep.
So anyway, the next segment we're going to have a listen to is the introductions. This is where you get to meet all the contestants and stuff. You got to say a little bit about yourself. So I got up there, I had a little line, and okay, here it is.
All right, contestants, tell me a bit about yourselves, but not too much because I'm not really interested.
Hi, I'm Helen. I work in events, and I once celebrated New Year's Eve with George Michael.
Hi, I'm Dave. I'm a YouTube content creator, and I live and breathe film and TV.
So there you go.
Hi,
it was
I'm
my
Catherine.
my little bit right there. They fed me the line.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was well, it was sort of like when I was speaking to the producer the casting director on the show on the phone before I went on the show. He was like, "Oh, how would you describe yourself?" What sort of spitballed something, and she's like, oh, "Okay, I'll write that down." And you get there in the morning, and they give you the line, and you got to rehearse it before you go out there, and then it's on the teleprompter, and you got to do it all. And yeah, so it's all a bit of fun. So anyway, we'll skip the rest of that. We don't need to see any of them because this will just go too long. As I've been saying, I'm not going to sit here for this whole thing. We're going to do this next. We're going to do this next segment now. This is the first round of the show, round number 1.
Yep.
So essentially, as it does, I'll let Magda explain how the show works, but they will go around and they ask everyone questions. Again, we're not going to sit through and watch the entire show. Because that will take it's like an hour show. It'll take us 3 hours to sit here and react to it all. So basically, I've chopped everyone else's answers out, and we're just focused on yours. Focus on mine. So you'll get a couple of questions. They go around. It's like 2 or 3 minutes each round, and you get a couple of questions each round. So here we go.
I'll ask you questions one at a time. If you string together enough correct answers, you'll win the top prize for the round. In this round, a chain of 8 correct answers will put $10,000 in your bank. However, one wrong answer will break that chain and take you right back to 0. But if you press your button and say bank before your question is asked, that money is safe and you'll start a brand new chain. This round is worth a potential $10,000. It's time to play the weakest link. Dave, the Bollywood film industry is based in which country?
India.
Correct. Dave, fans of which pop star refer to themselves as believers?
Justin Bieber.
Correct. Dave, ex-boxer Milo Kerrigan is the creation of which Australian comedian and TV host?
Eric Bana.
No, Sean McAuliffe. Time's up. You
got dogged on that last question.
Yeah, well,
I did okay on the first 2 though. Hey, my first question was a film question. Go figure.
Yeah. It has to be deliberate.
Well, all three of them were like pop culture. The Justin Bieber one, which is an easy one, and then that last one should have been easy, but like the first thing I don't think I've ever heard of the character Milo Kerrigan, but the first thing that comes to my head is Eric Bana, because he had the Eric Bana show. I was thinking like Australian comedian, TV show, characters. The first thing that comes to my head is Eric Bana.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. But that's got to be, it's got to be deliberate.
It has to be.
That they fed me, because when I went on Millionaire, my first question was a film one as well. So there has to be some they've keyed into the system where they make it easy,
make you feel
maybe.
comfortable.
Yeah, maybe. Interesting. So yeah, that was an easy round, and thankfully I only got one right, so they didn't kick me out. One wrong. I got one wrong, so they didn't kick me out round one, thankfully, because when you go into these things, you're like, I'll be even if I go out, I'll be happy just as long as I'm not the first out. You never want to be the first out. So thankfully that was not me.
It's a lonely walk that first one.
It was someone else. So next up, we're going to take a look at round two. Again, we get a little intro from Magda here, and then you'll go into the questions.
Yeah, cool.
So let's have a look.
Well, this bunch of bewildered bankers have only managed to claim $1,850 so far. But in the next round, a chain of 8 consecutive answers is worth $15,000. Let's play the weakest link.
That echo again.
Yeah.
Dave, which Olympic swimming champion is known by the nickname Torpedo?
Thorpe.
More information?
Ian Thorpe.
Correct. Dave, brolly is a colloquial term for what wet weather accessory?
Umbrella.
Correct. Dave,
Bank.
on your screen, who is this Prime Minister?
Boris Johnson.
Correct. It's time to vote off the weakest link.
Dave has emerged as the new strongest link with a flawless run of 3 correct answers.
3 in a row.
Catherine is the new weakest link. She only got 1 correct answer, the same as Damiano. But unlike Damiano, she didn't bank any money.
All right, the voting is complete. Dave, what do you do for a living?
I'm a content creator on YouTube.
What do you YouTube about?
I'm a big film and TV buff, so my content is based around film and television.
You're that guy at parties who goes on and on and on about Wes Anderson when really everyone just wants to jump into a paper bag with you.
Yeah.
Who did you vote for?
I voted for Damiano.
Why?
Because he got the movie question wrong. One of my favourite films ever. And he hesitated. And time equals money on this show.
Damiano.
Well, he's not wrong, but hopefully my contributions from the last couple of rounds have served me well.
And they did not. He got booted off. So I survived another round. It's interesting because you think you're doing okay and you see how easy these questions are, but the pressure, even if you don't think the pressure's getting to you, you have these weird brain fades. So the first question was, which Australian swimmer went by the name Torpedo? Ian Thorpe.
Yeah.
My brain fucking went blank. And the first thing that came to my head was Thorpe. Now, in the rule book, it says if there's a question about a person, you can just say their last name. But if the producers who are up the top watching and obviously talking to Maker or whatever else, if the producers don't think that's a good enough answer, they will ask you for more information.
Okay.
So first thing that came to my head was Thorpe. I said Thorpe. And it gave me a few more moments to just recompose and get that Ian in my head. More information, please. Ian Thorpe, yes. Then that next question, which was about the umbrellas, brolly, of course, is what we call them in Australia. You noticed me hesitating on that one as well. And I'm thinking, like, how can you not like brolly? Obviously, the third one again, same thing. Look at the picture on your screen. Who is this Prime Minister? Fucking Boris Johnson. Of course, fucking Boris Johnson. I know who he is. I'm always reading about his antics and shit.
British national.
Yeah, I am a British national, yes. Dual passport. Yep. So, of course, he's my Prime Minister as well, one of my Prime Ministers. So, of course, I know Boris Johnson, but you see me hesitate again like, but Boris Johnson. So, it's such a weird thing when you're there. And just the thought of, like, I don't know.
And you probably... I would think you probably have the the impression while you're there that time's going quicker than it actually is.
Yeah, I think so.
So in that 1 second that it takes you to compose and come out with the question, it probably feels like 10.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're going, oh shit, what is it? And then in reality, it's like gone in like a second.
Yeah, exactly right.
So it's such a weird thing, and like I even remember standing up there and almost had this weird like panic moment where I was like, fuck, I'm on a television show. Like I'm on a stage. This is like happening right now. And it's almost like, it's not like I was like panicking or anything, but it's just this weird, it hits you like fuck, I'm on a television show, right? It's such a weird experience. Such a weird experience doing this. So anyway, they tell you basically to just come up with any reason to vote off someone and make it, funny or whatever. And, if someone gave an answer that you didn't like, or someone got a question wrong that you would have got right, call them out on it. The whole thing is about, they pick people for these shows that they know are going to have a personality that's going to come up with quips or whatever else. Yep. Not that I would particularly think of myself, but, anyway, they pick charismatic people, maybe. Cool. But anyway, so I was like, fuck it, I'm going to call this guy out for getting the Jaws question wrong. And I did, and the poor guy, he got booted off that round. So anyway, I lasted to round 3. Let's have a listen, hey? Okay, round number 3. Let's have a go.
In this round, you have the opportunity to bank $20,000. As usual, another 10 seconds is coming off the clock. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Dave. Let's play the weakest link. The first question is for $250. Start the clock. Dave, AirPods is the name of wireless earbuds created by which company?
Apple.
Correct. Dave, in Greek mythology, which mountain is home to the 12 principal gods?
Athens.
No, Mount Olympus.
Idiot.
Catherine, Itchy and Scratchy, parodies of classic cartoon characters, appear in what long-running animated sitcom?
The Simpsons.
Correct. Dave, on your screen now is which character created by author Michael Bond?
Paddington Bear.
Correct. Time's up. That's the end of the round.
All right, round 3. I did okay, got 2 right, got another fucking easy one wrong.
Yep.
This is where it starts to go wrong for me. I think this is where the pressure's starting to mount up. I'm getting through. I'm going through more rounds. I'm doing well. I'm thinking, fuck, yeah, I was the weakest link. You see me quite surprised there, because even though when you're watching it, you've got the narration going, the strongest link in this round was Dave. You don't get any of that when you're in the studio.
Oh, really?
So they don't tell you like, oh, you were the weakest link last round. So when we get, you were the strongest link last round. So when you go into this next round, and she's like, we'll start with the strongest link from the last round, which was Dave. I'm like, oh shit, it was me. There you go. Now I was actually up against this woman on this show who was incredible. Like her brain of knowledge was insane, and she was getting every single question right. Every single question. Insane.
I think she only got one wrong the whole night.
I think so, yeah. It was insane. So even everyone's starting to notice how well this girl is doing, and the pressure starts to mount up, I think. And even I was shocked. Like, I was the strongest link in that round, and she's getting everything right. So anyway, I was quite surprised. But hey, after I was so annoyed that Mount Olympus question, obvious. Which mountain did the Greek gods come from? I blanked just completely. I think maybe I didn't listen to the question properly is probably it. And I just said Athens. I think I heard where do the Greek gods come from? Athens. I'm not fucking Mount Olympus. Hercules. That's where they all come from, man. And I've studied Greek mythology. I've read it all. So I know it, but it's like a blank. I sound like I'm justifying all my wrong answers here. But no, it's just such a weird situation. Any other situation you'd know these things. And most of the questions, not even just mine, were just quite easy throughout the evening. There are a few curly ones, but most of them are quite easy. The one that comes up after mine, fucking Simpsons question. Give me that one. I would have got that. I would have got it without,
Yeah.
I thought, fucking, even you see me go, fucking hell, you got the Simpsons one. Fuck's sake. So anyway, we go into round, what is this, round 4? That was round 3, I think, just there, yeah.
Round 4.
So up to round 4. Keep in mind, this is where it, we had, I've gone through 3 rounds now. So this is round 4. Like I said, this is where things are starting to just spitball a little bit for me. So let's have a listen.
Out of control. Spinning out of control.
Yeah.
We say goodbye to Helen and hello to $30,000. A further 10 seconds will come off the clock. We'll start with the strongest link from the last round. That's Shoe. Let's play the weakest
That was the
link.
girl who was getting everything right.
Dave. The Surf Lifesaving Australia logo features a figure wearing a hat of 2 colours, red and which other?
White.
No, yellow. Dave. Who wrote the 1960 novel To Kill a Mockingbird?
Lawrence.
No, Harper Lee. Catherine.
I don't even know what I said there.
Which Grammy Award-winning American pop star is nicknamed Tay-Tay?
Taylor Swift.
Correct. Riley. Dave.
Bank.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and who?
Raphael.
Correct. Time's up.
go.
That's the end of the round. Contestants, you banked a contemptible $3,000 out of a possible $30,000. It's time to vote off the weakest
You
link.
can see I'm getting a bit nervous now.
The weakest link this round is Dave,
Yep.
and for the second time, Shoe is the strongest,
Gone
answering
from the
all her
strongest to the
questions
weakest.
correctly.
Yep.
But as we reach the midpoint of the game, could Shoe's position as the strongest make her a target?
All right, the voting is complete. Shoo, who did you vote for?
Dave. Sorry,
Why?
because he got a couple wrong.
It's fair. Got 2 wrong.
Well, as you know, it's the team's vote that counts. It's time to reveal who the team thinks is the weakest link.
Riley.
Jude.
Dave.
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 Dave, the YouTube content creator, the team has just unsubscribed.
Oh.
3 votes. You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Goodbye. See you later. I've probably got a couple of easy ones wrong, particularly the To Kill a Mockingbird one. I really should have known. I actually think I have read the book. Now that I think about it, I read it in high school.
So that was the end.
Yeah.
I went on, I lost.
Oh, well, you don't go on those things to win.
No, I went
Winning
there
is
to
a-
have,
winning's a
I went,
bonus.
I went there to have fun. It was a blast. It was a lot of fun doing it. Again, 2 easy ones I got wrong. The surf life-saving thing.
Yeah.
Obviously, red and gold as the colour of the cap. But I was just like picturing the logo. And again, I think it was another situation where I didn't listen to the question properly. And I heard what other colour was on the logo. And the first thing I go to is white.
Red and white.
Because white's the colour of the face
Yeah.
that's on the logo.
Yeah.
And then the second one, the author of To Kill a Mockingbird, I just completely blanked out on for one reason or another. And obviously, I've read the book, I've watched the film, and I don't know, it just escaped me. And I keep trying to think whether, had I been asked under any other circumstances the name of the author, whether I would have got it. That's the one that I'm not sure. I think it may have escaped me.
Oh,
So-
I wouldn't have got it.
No. So I said Lawrence because I just knew it was like an L, like a Harper Lee. I was thinking, no.
Same surname, you should have got
Yeah,
it.
well, yeah, my surname, Lee. So the first thing comes into my head is like D.H. Lawrence. And I'm like, I'm sure that's not it, but I'm going to say it. Because they say to you, you always just have to come up with an answer.
Yeah.
Don't say pass, because the answer is never going to be pass.
Yeah.
We'll never have a question where the answer is pass. So just say something and it could be right. If not, it makes for good TV. So anyway, they booted me out because I got 2 wrong. I got the third one right, the Ninja Turtles one. Like that. It's funny, you watch all the pop culture ones just are like that. But anything else was like my brain has this weird fade. So I got booted out. I have a feeling I probably could have won it if I kept in. Judging by all the rest of the questions on the show, you'd never know if
Who
you would get
knows?
booted
Who
out.
knows?
It's not worth thinking about it. Of course, the woman who knew all the questions, she won in the end.
Yeah.
The
I can't believe they didn't vote her out.
Yeah, well,
So I wouldn't have wanted to go
because
up
it was
against her.
down to the last 3, and then one of the other people voted her out, but then the other person voted the other person out.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, what are
She's
you
nuts.
doing? Why did you put yourself up against like
Yeah.
the strongest player in the game who knew everything?
But she said that she wanted that she deserved to be on the end.
Yeah.
In the end game.
Yeah, don't go in with that mindset.
No.
I'm going to go in and win 20 grand. She won at the end.
I would have been thinking, who have I got a better chance of beating?
Exactly right. And the last few questions were, well, there was a mix of like easy ones because at the end they pit the two people against each other. It's like the best out of 5.
Yeah.
And of course the woman who was getting all the questions right, she just completely, well, she didn't blitz it. She got a couple wrong.
Yeah.
But she managed to take it out in the end. And I think well deserved.
Yeah.
Like going with a head of knowledge like that and keep you cool the whole time. She'd obviously read, well, she was saying she had read what do you call it? Like strategies and stuff, and was implementing strategies, and fucking it paid off. So
really,
props to her. Like even when I went backstage, I did a little exit interview thing. They asked you like 4 or 5 questions, and they obviously just pick. And one of them was like, "Who do you think is the strongest?" I was like, obviously her. And they're like, "Who do you want to win?" I was like, "Well, absolutely, I have to give it to her because she's done so well." So anyway, I went on. I had fun. We got a funny little podcast segment out of it as well.
It took forever to film it too, didn't they?
It's like 6 hours it takes them to do a show.
It's one episode. That's
so
ridiculous.
Long. Yeah, it took ages.
We should do something like Millionaire, and that's done in
they
real
do
time.
6 Millionaire episodes in a day.
Yeah.
So it's done in real time. This thing was a bit of fudging around. So I don't know how much I'm allowed to divulge.
How ridiculous.
But it takes a long time to record one of them. Absolutely crazy.
That's their process.
Exactly. Today, as we're recording this Friday, it's my 5th YouTube anniversary.
Jeez.
The anniversary of the day I first uploaded a video on my current YouTube channel.
Jeebus.
Yeah, I had a channel before it, but I didn't take it very seriously. I uploaded once every 3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Just movie reviews. But yeah, the current channel, Dave Lee Down Under, or as it was then, Disney Dave.
Disney Dave Down Under, that's
right. Right. 5 years as of today, I uploaded my first video. Terrible video. I was... As you do, you look back at people's like earliest videos on YouTube and you think that's just, cringe as. I've got a small clip from my first YouTube video. Occasionally I get people writing comments on this like, "Oh my God, your first video." I'm like, "Oh, jeez, you found it," right? It was,
as if you don't know it's shit.
Yeah. Well, I was just doing Disney stuff back then. I've said many times that I kind of used the Disney Dave thing as a jumping off point to try and form like a small little community and then try and break away from it. It worked. So initially I was just doing like Disney reviews and stuff. Very first one I did was, actually I did 2. I did 2 in one sitting and they were reviews for that Disney Infinity game for the PlayStation.
Oh, that's right.
So I was doing these reviews for the little action figures. So this is the, I just played like a very small 40-second clip. This is the very beginning.
Don't think I remember this.
No, I've tried to block it out, but we're going to revisit it just very briefly here. Of course, the full video is up on YouTube. You can still find it. But here's just a very small clip of my first ever video on the Dave Lee Down Under YouTube channel. Let's have a listen. G'day guys, Disney Dave here once again for another short little video game review kind of thing. We're taking a look at another Disney Infinity piece. This is another brand new piece from Disney Infinity 3.0. It's Baloo from the Jungle Book. He looks really cool. I've ripped him out of the packaging already before doing this video. Okay, so let's make this one really short, really quick. It's just one character we're going to have a look at. Of course, I didn't bring out any other Jungle Book characters, which is... that's not incredibly disappointing because there's not really any other characters you'd really want to play with. Baloo is awesome. Maybe a Mowgli would have been pretty cool.
Guys, it's funny how you've developed over the 5 years.
Yeah. Funny.
Chubby cheeks, more hair.
Yeah, I know.
And that beard, look at it.
I know.
God.
Crazy. Real jungle man.
Yeah.
Funny thing with this is you hear at the beginning I say something like, "Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video."
G'day
guys, Disney Dave here once again for another short little video. For another video. What happened was I recorded 2 videos back to back.
Yeah.
There was one, I think the second one was like the Captain America piece for the Disney Infinity. And I uploaded them in the wrong order.
Oh,
so then you go and you look at I uploaded the Captain America one the day after, And I'm pretty sure on that one, I'm like, welcome to the channel, welcome to our new channel, whatever. So from the very beginning, I cocked it up, yeah.
Yeah. And you haven't stopped cocking it up since.
I know, exactly right. So I thought that was funny to revisit that. But two very awful videos. And that first year or so's worth of videos are pretty cringe like that.
That shirt's a ripper too.
I know. Alicia bought me one. Yeah. Alicia bought me that one. That was a Vans t-shirt.
That's right. Yeah, it was.
There's a Vans one.
I do remember that.
I think it's a bit small for me now. Actually, maybe it's probably not because I
reckon you'll fit into it now.
I reckon I will
because you're bigger there.
Yeah, I was bigger there, and then
fat face
and then I got bigger, and then I came back down. So I reckon I'd fit into it again. I got to dig it out.
Yeah.
Wear it next week on the pod. My Jungle Book shirt. I love that thing.
Don't put it on now.
Yeah. I couldn't be bothered now. No. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, every time Sony does something, takes a Marvel property and does something without Marvel, because this is disconnected from the Spider-Man.
Okay.
Venom is a Spider-Man villain, but this is not connected. Well, as far as we're aware, anyway, they'll probably try.
It's connected to the Sony Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's connected to the Sonyverse, the Spider-Verse, and so Marvel has nothing to do with this.
Oh, you can tell.
And any time that Sony takes one of these Marvel properties, they just fuck it up. It's terrible. It's terrible. Anyway, I'm sure we'll see it when it comes out, and we'll see how it goes. I wasn't.
Look at that. We're just seeing the trailer, and it might be completely out of context.
Yeah. I wasn't huge on the first one anyway, but I was. I'm interested. We'll see it, and we'll see how it goes. So here's a Venom.
But if that's the best trailer they can come up with for it,
yikes!
It's not making me want to go see it.
No, certainly not.
Give us your opinion. If you get on, have a look at the trailer and tell me what you think.
Yeah,
tell us what you think.
Move that up. Okay, so now Disney is always like with their movies. Is always like, what's happening? How are you releasing your movies? This last year
on Disney Plus. Was it going to the cinema? Was it going to both?
Yeah, right. Shit. We've got updates on a couple of movies. Now, this happened a little while ago. The update we got, of course, Cruella and Black Widow are both headed to cinemas and Disney Plus. They're taking that hybrid model. And then we've got Raya and The Last Dragon did that hybrid model earlier in the year. We've got Luca going to, which is Pixar's latest film, that's going to Disney Plus for free.
Looking forward to that one.
It's not going to cinemas, though. Going straight to Disney Plus for free. It's not Premier Access.
Nice.
Not nice. I want to see that on cinema.
We got a big screen here to watch it on.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Bit spoiled in that regard.
I know, but I just feel like that's a movie that deserves to be seen by the masses on a big screen.
It's not going to cinema at all?
No.
Oh, bugger. That would be
That's
beautiful.
what I'm saying.
That would be really nice in the cinema.
Cruella, Black Widow, cinemas and Disney Plus Premier Access, which means you pay $30 for it. Luca is going direct to Disney Plus for free, like they did with Soul. Anyway, we discussed this a few weeks ago.
We need to get a 4K projector.
I know, but then you need to
get somebody to give us one.
Yeah, who can give us a 4K projector?
Sony,
we'll promote it. Sony, please. We just fucking ragged on. We just fucking ragged on Venom.
Yeah, the different parts of the company.
Sony, please. I'm sorry. I love Venom. 10 stars.
Trash.
10 stars. Venom 2. Can I have my projector now? Cool story about physical media this week as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Disney, they reached out to me. Gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Must be about a month ago now. Maybe 3 or 4. No, it wasn't that long ago. 3 or 4 weeks ago, maybe. They said, hey, because they've used my quotes on TV spots before.
Yep.
Like a pull quote. So they choose your quote.
Do they pull them from
It's usually
Rotten Tomatoes?
It's usually the thing I've submitted to Rotten Tomatoes they take it from. So I'm always very selective with what I use on the Rotten Tomatoes, because that's what they will always go to.
Yeah.
And so they come to me, they go, are you okay with us to use this quote? Which I think is fantastic.
Nice that they are.
Because I know a lot of them don't do that, particularly overseas. I always see people tweeting like, oh my God, they've used me on an ad. I didn't know.
Mm.
But they will always reach out and they'll say, do you mind if we use this? Do you have any issues with us using it? No way, go for it. So they've used me in, what was they put me in an ad for Mulan. Soul I got on as well. So they reached out to me a few weeks ago and they were like, do you mind if we're doing a localized cover for Raya and The Last Dragon, and we're thinking about putting a couple of localized quotes on there from local media, which is not something they usually do.
So they've done it locally in probably the US and
There's a US variant, there's
UK.
a UK and an Australian one, and usually it's the same.
Right.
It's the same quote, but they've done localized. I'm not too sure why. But anyway, great. They reached out. They're like, "Do you mind if we use your quote in relation to the Blu-ray, the release of the Blu-ray?" And I said, "Go ahead, man. The DVD, whatever." And then I didn't hear back, but then I heard back on Monday. They reached back out and they were like, "Hey, by the way, here's an update. We've put your quote on the DVD cover." And then, of course, there was the DVD, the Blu-ray, and the 4K.
Wow.
So I put my quote on all of them, which is bloody awesome. It was really cool. Really cool. And on the TV spot, they've done a digital spot, I think. So it's running, I think it's running on YouTube, Instagram. I don't know. I know it's running on social and it's running on digital, what do you call it, like the catch-up apps?
Oh, yeah.
On like the streaming apps. So they've put that stuck a digital thing that's going around. Yeah, it's awesome. So I've always wanted to be on a DVD cover. It's always like, oh, that'd be great if I could get that little quote on the DVD. Never thought it'd ever happen. I thought, oh, no, it'll never happen. But no, yeah, there you go. So they reached out and I'm on the Raya and the Last Dragon DVD cover forever now.
And Blu-ray
in Australia.
and 4K.
And 4K, yeah.
Awesome.
Very cool. Just in Australia. Australia exclusive if you want that Dave Lee Down Under variant of the Raya cover.
Yeah.
I'm also on there with another really fantastic critic as well, Harris Dang, from here in Australia, whose work's really fantastic as well. So we've both got our quotes on there, which is really great. So
cool. It's good they're using, they're using quotes from people other than
the main
than newspapers or
exactly
TV
right.
stations and shit like that. Because it just shows the way that media's going.
Yeah. Well, Harris writes for
mainstream media's dying off.
Well, exactly right. Harris writes for a like an online, I guess like a, I don't know what you call it, like a blog, like a
digital newspaper sort of thing.
Yeah. Called the AU Review.
Right.
And I reached out to him. I was like, "Oh, this is awesome. Happy to share the cover with you." And he's like, "Oh yeah, so cool." He said he's had a few in the past, but his name wasn't actually on it.
Right.
So they just quoted. I looked through a bunch of them, and actually most of them will only credit the outlet, not the author. But Disney,
like New York Times.
Yeah, you'll have New York Times or the Channel 9 Morning News or something like that. But this one, Disney's been really good and actually credited the authors, which is great. I mean, if they just credited my outlet, it would be my name anyway.
Exactly right.
My name's on it twice, Dave Lee Down Under, which is cool. Anyway, so you can head out. If you're in Australia, you can head out and buy one of them. Otherwise, you can, if you're overseas and you want one of the Dave Lee Down Under variants, you can probably buy it online somewhere. There you go. So that's very cool. I'll put up the pictures on the screen, but if you're listening, you can head to my Instagram, my Twitter. I've put up pictures. I think it's on the Facebook as well. I don't post often on the Facebook, but I put that up there. That was pretty cool. We have been watching WandaVision, though. A few weeks ago, I had you on. I asked you what you think about WandaVision. This was after like 3 episodes where the show was a little bit weird. They were doing the sitcom thing, and it was just a bit different. A lot of people were on the fence about, well, what's this show? Now that we're up to episode 6, how are you feeling about it?
More connected.
More connected now.
Yeah. Now that it's moved on a bit, it was sort of hard to figure out what they were doing with those first 2 or 3 episodes. And then it got to episode 4 or something,
4,
and then things started to happen, and you think, oh, okay. And the last couple of episodes have been really quite good.
Yeah, well,
so I'm looking forward to tonight's one.
It's getting more like Marvel-y.
Yeah. It was just a bit the way they started, and now you look back, you can understand why they did it the way they did it.
Yeah.
But seeing one episode a week made that hard for me to watch. And I got to a point where I'm thinking, I don't know if I can stick with this. It's just...
Well, it's funny because I've seen a lot of people say the same thing, where you see people in comments on Twitter or whatever where they're saying, I dropped out after 2 episodes. Should I get back into it? They're saying all these people like talking about the crazy stuff that's been going on the show and like, oh my, like I need to get back into this. And it's funny because I read an article that said the views on the show have skyrocketed since like episode 4 or 5. Once it's broken away from that. Apparently it debuted quite soft. Didn't fail. It didn't like low views. It debuted quite soft, apparently. So
I can imagine.
You can get it. But now that word has got out, this show's actually moving towards a more familiar territory, more Marvel-y. more people are into it, and I think, well, like yourself, more connected.
And those first couple of episodes, they were only, 22 or 23 minutes or something?
Shows, yeah.
And that was purely because that was the length of the sitcom back in 50s, 60s, 70s or whatever.
Yeah.
But now they're, what are they, 40 minutes or something?
It's like pushing 40. I
They're
think
40
tonight's
minutes?
one's supposed to be like 50 minutes or something.
Oh, great.
Well, the last 3 shows are supposed to be like an hour long, so I'm guessing probably about 50 minutes with the credits and all that stuff.
But yeah, you can sort of... I can understand why people dropped off it.
Yeah, I get it
Because
too.
I got to a point where it's like... But then
Yeah.
I thought to myself, no,
get
just
it.
put trust in what they're doing because they haven't let us down. All the Marvel stuff has never let us down.
No, exactly right.
Well, like Nick Cage, maybe.
Nick
That's-
Cage.
Not Nick Cage, it was called...
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage.
What, the Netflix stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that wasn't them. That was Marvel
that's true.
Entertainment. That
But
was
it-
Marvel TV.
but it was still part of the whole Marvel universe.
Well, they tried.
know
They
what I
tried to,
mean.
but it wasn't. They tried to say it was connected, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
So you had these 2 divisions at the company that were warring against one another, and this company that was doing the television stuff really wanted to jump in on what the like Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios was doing, and they were really trying to. Because that legally they could connect it, they were trying to do that, but then they couldn't name drop like Thor or Captain America or anything. It was always like, or Hulk. It was always like, oh, the guy with the big green guy or the guy with the hammer sort of thing. They could never directly reference the characters. But
most of those were good the first season or so.
Yeah.
But
And
then they
dropped
just
off.
become
like Daredevil,
trash.
Jessica Jones, Luke Cage.
Yeah, exactly right.
I think you stopped watching. I don't know if you even watched Defenders. Did you watch Defenders?
No, I didn't see Defenders. And I think Jessica Jones, I might have dropped off that too.
We did one season. We did the first season of each of them, and including Iron Fist as well, which one was awful. Not awful. It wasn't great. Daredevil did 3 seasons. We watched 2.
That. We only watched 2,
we watched the first 2. We haven't watched Daredevil season 3, Jessica Jones season 2, Luke Cage season 2. I don't know if they did a second Iron Fist, but then they did a Punisher spin-off from Daredevil. Didn't watch any of them. I got through Defenders by myself only because I was like, I have to see like the Avengers type team up, and that was a real slog to get through. I didn't like it. We kind of dropped off since then. But
but at the end of the day, I just thought, I just got to put trust in what Marvel
in the system,
and they haven't let us down.
They're going in an interesting direction, that's for sure. I'll be doing a episode sort of ending explained for this episode. I've been a little bit slack with my WandaVision coverage, but last week I did my first ending explained. We're going to do another one tonight, but by the time you're listening to this, it's probably already up. It's definitely already up. So you can listen to that, and I'll be covering the Marvel shows week by week from now on. So I'm getting into it.
Should do something for the last episode.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about doing I don't know whether I do like a roundup show on the podcast here or just do like a live stream or something. I'm not too sure. I've got to sort that out. But I do want to have like a thing where I get to talk about it because I haven't really been covering it in depth, and I'm a bit weary here on the podcast talking spoilers and stuff.
Yeah,
because I know a lot of people
Yeah.
are either waiting for it all or just haven't got to the latest episode.
Yeah.
So I'm very weary about spoilers for really anything that we talk about.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So maybe a live stream or something like that might be.
Yeah, I think so, probably. We'll see. It's a couple of weeks. There's 3 shows left.
Have to give it some thought.
I'm excited
Try
about
and work
that.
out timing and all that sort of stuff with it.
Yeah. Now, with all that out of the way, I did warn you it's going to get a bit fiery today.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so we're going to spin off the back of WandaVision here. People have been really complaining about it, though. Now, what you were saying, you felt a little bit disconnected from it, and a lot of people been saying they don't like. Even coming now into like where the show's really ramping up, it's really exciting and it's action packed and it's like there's something to think about every week. People aren't liking the pacing of it.
Mm-hmm.
People have been complaining.
Is it the pacing of the show itself or pacing of...
There's all kinds of things. There's all kinds of things, and people are complaining about things. I think at this point, for the sake of complaining about things, there's people complaining that the show has a slow pacing, but then I've also heard people complaining that it's moving too fast. So they're doing 6 episodes instead of maybe 12. So some people are saying it's just like moving like too fast, and then the episode ends like abruptly. Right, so you've got like this 30-minute show and then it just ends abruptly.
I can get that.
And then you jump back into the next week. I think some of these are fairly reasonable arguments,
valid arguments
and criticisms, right? That's fine. But then there's people that are coming out and saying that having the show as a weekly show is something that they really don't like. And they'd prefer it all at once. They just want to give it all to me at once, which is where the line starts to, for me personally, the line starts to blur a little bit. The thing here is I have seen more conversation surrounding this program than any other television show for the last 10, maybe up to close to 20 years, because of the way that they have paced this show out as a weekly thing. You don't get it all at once. You get a little bit at a time. You get just a little bit here, you get this little bit here, you get this little bit here, and week by week, you're just thinking, what's going to happen this week? I can't wait. Wake up in the morning, I'm like, 3 days left to WandaVision. You know, I wake up in the morning, yes, WandaVision tonight. You know, I'm excited to see what's going to happen next. Like, if you think back, the big, like, cultural moments in television. Who shot JR back on...
Yeah, exactly right.
What was that on?
Dynasty?
Right? Who shot JR? The main character of the show got shot, like, at the end of a season, and then people had to wait for a year to find out who shot JR. Who's the father of Rachel's baby and Friends? That was like a thing they dragged out over like 3 or 4 shows. Who was the father of Rachel's baby? You've got stuff like there's an episode of The West Wing where the series ends where there's a sniper on the building.
That's right.
And the episode ends with this title saying, "Who's been shot?" So you had to wait a year to find out who got like shot by the sniper, right? These are like big cultural conversations that you don't really tend to have anymore. I mean, you've got cliffhangers at the end of seasons, but like from episode to episode kind of things, you don't get that anymore because everyone gets everything all at once. And you might have only watched 2 episodes of a show, but your mate down the road has sat and binged the entire 6 to 12 episodes over a night or over a weekend, right? And you're kind of behind a little bit. But back then, and now what we're seeing with WandaVision again is that there is this cultural conversation where everyone is up to date. Everyone is talking about what is happening, right? What's going to happen next week? What's this? Theories. People trying to dig up spoilers and leaks and stuff like that. And people just like, you're just going out of their mind. This is the most talked about show on the internet right now. And it is the most watched program on any platform right now at this moment. Yeah. Because everyone's just getting in on this. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's excited about this.
That sort of tells you that them releasing 1 episode a week is working.
Exactly right. Now,
and that's one thing I used to enjoy about a lot of the stuff that I watched years ago was, like, you'd be thinking week to week what was going to happen. Yeah. Or you'd watch something on, say, a Tuesday night and you'd go to work on the Wednesday morning and there were half a dozen other people that were watching it and you'd sort of stand around the water cooler and down the corridor.
Well, I am in multiple group chats on like Twitter and whatever else. I'm in one with a couple of my friends. I'm in one with a couple of, a group of like YouTubers. Yep. And I'm in another one with my cousins. Cass and Rob. Yeah. And these chats are always going off. I'm constantly looking. I reckon if I look at my phone now, I've probably got I've got Twitter's going off because people are chatting and it's like almost constant. It's almost like 24 hours people and I'm just constantly getting like, theories and what's going to happen here? I'm excited to do my review. I'm this is what I think is going to happen. I've just seen this article. Look at this. This interview with Paul Bettany, who's given like a really cryptic clue about some actor that's going to be on the show. And it's this conversation that I haven't seen for a long time. I wake up in the morning, I've got 100+ notifications from this YouTuber group chat that I'm in with a bunch of people from the States. And there's a couple of people in there, I think, from London as well, from all around. And there's just constant chatter going on. Because we're from all parts of the globe, there's always something going on in that chat. And like I said, I woke up this morning, there's over 100 chats in this group. And most of it, 90% of it, is about WandaVision and just people chatting theories and stuff. And I haven't seen this for a long time. The only thing I can think, I've told this story before, when Smallville was on, and I was a kid, you'd watch it, In the evening, I'd get on the phone, I'd ring up my mate
That's
Lockie, and
right.
I'd be like, oh, how good was it? This happened. What's going to happen next year? Oh, so what's going to happen next week on the show? And then we'd be like, oh, there's hints, Lex Luthor, because he starts as Clark's friend in the show. Oh, he's going to turn evil next episode. Like I'm talking season 1, we're like, Lex is finally going to go evil next episode. It's finally going to happen.
Season 4
like season 4 or something. He finally turned evil. But you're waiting for these things to happen. It's just such an exciting way to get into any kind of media. It's just the cultural conversation that is happening over this thing. You don't get that on shows that go on streamers.
Yeah, that's
Stranger
right.
Things and stuff like that. There's big conversations around it. It dies off after a week.
It's up and it's watched and it's gone.
There's no theorizing.
There are some things I enjoy watching that way.
Oh, well, yeah, of course. I was going to say that. That's fine. But binge watching is fine. We binged Ted Lasso this week.
Yeah.
And that's an example where we binged it in 2 days, and at the end of it, I was like, I wish I had more of that to watch.
Yep,
right?
exactly.
But I think you can make an argument that binge watching, totally fine. But there are certain programs that are built specifically to be watched in this format, right?
Yeah.
And this is one of those shows.
Yeah.
Because week by week, you've got something going on that there's something to theorize about. There's a revelation every episode, then there's a cliffhanger. And then the next episode you get the payoff, but then you get another cliffhanger at the end of that, which opens up something even bigger and bigger each episode as you go along, right? This was an interesting post posted by IndieWire, which is one of those like film sort of reviewy website kind of things. The guy on here writes, after 6 episodes, WandaVision still feels far too much like an inflated feature film that just keeps dragging out its story via inconvenient weekly installments. Everyone just railed on this post, right? And it just makes me think like, inconvenient weekly installments. This is how television has worked for 70 years.
Yeah,
maybe the
that's
60
right.
years
Yep.
before binge watching, Netflix, all that kind of stuff. And like I said, I love to like certain shows. You binge watch them. It's fun. It's exciting. But the big cultural shows like this, you got to watch week by week. I think anyway. But I think like
They're not stupid. They're not stupid.
no way.
I mean, Disney and Marvel, and that,
No.
they're not stupid. They know what they're doing. They know why
No,
they've
exactly
done it.
right.
And they knew,
Exactly right.
They knew that this was going to happen. You can't tell me
about
they
this every
didn't
week.
know.
People are uploading a video
Yeah.
every single week.
And what's going to happen
Explained.
when they drop the next?
Yeah.
What's the next?
Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
When they do that?
1 week later.
Same
Gonna
thing's
happen
gonna
again.
happen.
1 week after that. Loki.
Yeah.
You're going to be talking about Marvel
Yeah.
every single
Yeah.
week. You know how many people are
And
going to sign up
what's
to
going to
Disney
happen
Plus?
is if those series start off the way WandaVision do, people will stick with it.
Oh,
Because I think,
absolutely.
okay, there's going to be a payoff.
Yeah, exactly right. The inconvenient weekly installments are what really got me. Now, maybe I'm starting to show my age here. I'm turning 30 this year. So it's at the point where I'm starting to feel like, all right, the world's changed.
Yeah.
I'm at that point where I'm the grumpy old man who's looking back and going, things have changed since I was a kid. But TV has worked this way.
Your generation is known for being the now generation.
Yeah.
You want everything now,
Yeah.
and you don't want to have to wait for it, and you don't want to have to work
Yeah,
for it.
and I feel like a lot of that has to do with technology, how it's evolved, how we've got streaming and stuff.
Exactly right.
And this binge model, as fun as it is for certain shows, has really been to the detriment of the way people view content.
Yeah.
Or the way people view shows or movies or whatever. It's watch it now, it's consumed, it's done, you don't think about it. Consume something else, consume next thing,
Yeah.
consume the next thing. You don't really think about it.
It's about instant gratification.
Instant gratification. So
Yeah.
this whole inconvenient weekly installments really rubbed me up the wrong way because I think about the X-Files, right?
Yeah,
Which was
yeah.
there was like full season shows.
Yeah.
That you think 10 years ago, every show was 24 episodes
yeah.
long. X-Files was a show that went for 24 episodes. And there were 2 kinds of episodes you'd get from the X-Files. One was called Monster of the Week episodes, which was always just like a random mystery that they go off and solve with just some random monster or like just crazy alien or just some sort of mystery. And it didn't really have much connection to
the rest of
it
the
was just
story.
about kind of world build, sort of like creating the
Yep.
external world. And then you had the mythology episodes, which were the ones that really delved into like the alien abductions and the character work on Scully and what was his name? Mulder. Mulder and Scully. It really delved into the character work and really established like the overarching story that happened across the X-Files. Can you guess how many mythology episodes you had in a single season in the X-Files?
Oh, I don't know. 2, 3 maybe?
You had
probably only...
You had 6 to 8.
6.
Half a dozen
Yeah.
in a 24-episode season, and you got 16 to 18 Monster of the Week shows.
Oh, God.
So if you do the maths on that, you would watch a show over 24 weeks. It's almost 6 months, like 5 or 6 months worth of television. You'd be sitting there watching this story play out. Literally 75% of that was filler.
Yeah.
Filler material that you would be waiting like 3 or 4 weeks until you got that next mythology show. The show that actually,
but it didn't feel
that.
It didn't feel like that.
Never felt that way though, because you're just watching this thing, and at the time you didn't think about it. But then I hear someone who is complaining about a 6-episode series.
Yeah,
6 episodes. It's like 6 hours of content. The 6-episode show is it's so inconvenient to watch this show. There's been very little filler in this show.
Yeah,
maybe the first 2 or 3 episodes where it's really building it, and it's sort of like, where's this going sort of thing. But in the end, there's been a payoff to that, right? So there's very little filler in this show because they've got such a short time frame to just pack everything into it. There's always a build-up. There's always a payoff in these shows. But then you think about something like The X-Files. You sat there for 6 months, not 6 weeks. Sorry, I'm saying 6. The show goes for 9 weeks, but I think it's 6 hours of the thing goes for 6 hours in total. Compare that to a 24-week show where you're watching, even there's like season breaks and stuff like that in between holidays where they go off for 2 or 3 weeks. Yeah. You're watching this show for a long time.
Yeah.
And then someone comes and complains that it's too inconvenient to watch a 9-episode series that's really moving at breakneck speed. It rubs me up the wrong way.
Yeah, I get that.
It's like people have forgotten how to watch television because of this binging model.
Yeah.
And not everything, the binging model's fine. We do it. I binged Ted Lasso this week. We almost got through the whole series of Morning Wars.
We did the same with, although they weren't on streaming platforms at the time, was like The Sopranos.
Oh, yeah. We waited for them to end.
What was that other one? Heisenberg.
Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
We sort of binged all that through. But that Breaking Bad, I think, is an example of one of the last network shows. I think Breaking Bad and then Game of Thrones were shows that also had this conversation going on around them, and they were networks. But I don't think they're like the last.
Because remember we'd go to work and there'd be half a dozen people talking about Breaking Bad,
or Game
and
of
that
Thrones.
was like 4 or 5 seasons into it.
Yeah,
and we sort of thought, what the hell? We just couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
And then we thought it got to a point where it's 6 seasons down already. We might as well just wait till it finishes.
Yeah, exactly.
And when it finished, we bought it all and just binge watched it.
Yeah. So there is a.
So I don't mind a binge watch. I enjoy a binge watch, but I also enjoy, like with WandaVision, that weekly.
Yeah.
And that anticipation, that anticipation of the episode tonight was like, just I wonder what's going to happen tonight.
It's just like, it's almost like, I don't know. Again, I think people have forgotten how television works in a way because of this binge model. And I think it's been to the detriment of shows, and that everything needs to be viewed that way. You need to watch it now. You just don't have the time to process it. The way we are processing this program at the moment, I mean, 7 days of people just speculating what's going to happen in the next episode. But this is a show that is moving at breakneck speed. It's going so fast.
Well, it is now.
It is now, yeah. Well, apart from those first few episodes. And I've seen people complaining, like this guy said here, that it's too much like a movie. And the episodes don't feel episodic. They just feel like one small, like little sliver. They've made like a long movie and then chopped it up into little parts. Well, this is where it rubbed me up again. Because you think about where TV came from was the movie Serial. And these were these long 15 to 20 hour movies that they chopped down into 15 to 20 parts. You'd go to the cinema every single week. You're going back, like 1920s, 30s. Yeah. You'd go to the cinema and you'd watch the next part of that Serial. And there was always a payoff and a cliffhanger. Oh, literally. Like a lot of the Westerns would end with a guy falling off a cliff and grabbing onto the cliff. Will he survive? Come to the next part next week. You go back to the cinema and you'd see the next part of the Serial.
Yeah, that's right.
And by the end of it, they would usually cut that Serial into a film. So it might be like a 2 or 3 hour film. You've sat through this, because these parts were probably 5 or 6 minutes long. So it wasn't like a 15, 20 hour film. But it was this film that they were able to chop into 15, to 20 parts. You go back every week to see it. Then you go back again to see the movie cut of it. I'm talking stuff like Lone Ranger and even like the early Superman stuff with Kirk Allen and all those like Zorros and all that kind of stuff. This then got this kind of formula of you have a cliffhanger, you have a revelation, cliffhanger, revelation. You know, it's this one story that's been chopped down into many parts. This then leads to radio serials when radio comes into television. Yeah. So then there's radio plays.
Yep.
And each week it's the same thing. When television comes in and television becomes the main form of home entertainment, or really the main form of entertainment at the time when it comes in, they adapt that formula again.
Yeah.
From the movie serial to the radio serial to television serial. And that is what then become television programs. So now people are saying, oh, you've made a long movie and you've chopped it down into parts. WandaVision, specifically WandaVision, is the purest television show.
Oh, for sure.
We've had for a long
most definitely.
time.
Most
This
definitely.
is television in its pure form because it is. It's a Marvel film.
Yep.
We've got this 6-hour Marvel film. It's just chopped down into little parts. And the worst part is, yes, it moves at breakneck speed and then bang, it ends. And the end of the episode, you're like, oh, how's this ended already? You're like, you feel like you're watching a movie and you're really into it, and then it's like, bang, you're like, shit, it's finished, right? They've got to wait. And I think this show, the way they have done it, is brilliant. Marvel knows what they're doing. Kevin Feige is the best producer in Hollywood right now. I think he's the best producer we've had in Hollywood for
a long time.
A very long time. Of the modern age, Kevin Feige.
He's the man.
He's going to go down in history as one of the greatest producers of all time.
Yeah.
You talk about like Cecil B. DeMille level, like we're talking about this guy in the 1920s who were making big epic like films, like big epic, like 2-3 hour epic productions, silent films and stuff. He's on this level for me, and the way you see that he has shaped film with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the way they have shaped what the face of cinema is now. And the way people build, again, you could see pros and cons of this, but the way he has changed franchising, has changed character IP, the changes that we've seen in cinema in the last 10 years of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is akin to what George Lucas did with cinema after Star Wars.
Yeah, I can see that. I see what you're saying.
It's this next sort of level. I think he's going to go down as one of the greatest producers in history. And again, I've said this on the podcast, Ben Affleck, who was over at DC doing Batman, was on the record not long ago saying, I think Kevin Feige is the best producer in Hollywood right now. He said he's the only producer that could come to me and say, this is going to work, and I'd believe him.
Yeah.
So...
Well, nothing's failed for him.
No.
Really,
right.
has it?
There's been a few things that have been a bit,
but,
at the beginning, but you're always going to have, it's always going to be hit and miss and whatever else.
But he's certainly hit on a formula, hasn't he?
Absolutely.
He's hit on a formula that worked,
yep.
And he's stuck with it.
And how many people are trying to copy that
exactly
formula
right.
now?
Yeah, exactly right.
Not only DC,
the whole
but
DC universe.
Like how many people are trying to do, like Universal tried to do their Monster Universe, which failed. And then you've got these, like Hasbro is trying to do a Hasbro universe. You've got the Godzilla Kong universe, which is actually going quite strong because they took the model where they went, give them their own solo films. 6 years later, finally you got Godzilla vs. Kong, after 3 movies.
Yeah.
You finally got the big payoff film. Don't do what DC did. You do Superman, and then bang, you do Superman vs. Batman, right? That's going on another tangent. But I just think WandaVision is television in its purest form, and I think people, because of the binge model, people have forgotten how to watch TV.
Oh, yeah. I understand.
Or forgotten where television has come from.
Yeah.
And again, that whole argument with this is just a long movie cut down. Of course it is. That's how these things work.
Yeah.
Even the Netflix shows are like this. Queen's Gambit, which we watched, we binged that one.
Yep.
Right? How many episodes was that? Like 8 episodes or something?
8
something like that. That has been nominated for a Golden Globe as a television film. Not as a TV series. It wasn't in a TV series.
Has it really?
No, it was nominated as a telefilm, telemovie. Yeah.
Wow.
It's literally what these Netflix programs are.
When
It's a movie.
you think of it, it doesn't matter what the series... I mean, you even look at things like, I suppose, Friends.
Yeah.
At the start, they would have mapped all that out.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right, from season to season.
Yeah.
So they would have said, okay, well, here's where we start. This is where we need to finish it by the end of the season, and they would map that whole thing out.
Yeah.
So that's the same thing.
Yeah, exactly right. It's like a big long movie that you then chop down into.
And
little
then they'll
bits.
start the next season from where they finished off that one, and think, okay, we've gone from there. Now we've got to get to there. But they would have known that at some point, they're going to be here.
Yeah,
they're going to be 8 seasons down or whatever it went for. And they need to be at a certain point for that. Yeah. And they would have changed and moved it, obviously, throughout the years. But Every TV series is like that.
Everyone.
Every TV series.
The only
does
difference now is you don't have all that filler stuff. That's why these shows are so much shorter now, is because you don't have those 16, episodes of nothing.
Yeah, that's
to
right.
get to the main, like the meaty stuff. It's all like important stuff. So anyway, that's my thoughts on all that.
Yeah, no, look, I don't disagree. Like as I said, I enjoy a binge watch.
Yep. Me too.
And I also enjoy a weekly episode.
I think,
depending on what it is,
I think it needs to be taken. Yeah, exactly. Like show by show, on a show by show basis. You got to depend. The binge model's fine. I mean, that's where we're going now. That's what the future is.
Yeah.
Is going to be binging stuff like that forever. But I think Disney and Marvel are very smart of bringing that old formula back, because there are some shows that do work in that. Do work, and you might say it's a marketing ploy. Disney just want people talking about it.
There's no doubt about it.
It definitely is. But they have crafted this show to be watched in this format.
Yeah.
It's almost like Disney's gone to them and said, we want this show, it's going to be week by week. We want to capitalize on people just talking, like big conversation over this show, whatever. And Kevin Feige's gone, okay, we can do that, but we're going to make sure that we build the show in a way that it can be watched week by week.
And it's a business decision as well.
Yeah,
it's to get you to keep paying for.
Oh, exactly. Well, yeah, exactly right. You have to keep
for
paying.
The streaming
you have
service.
to keep paying week by week by week.
But I mean, what's Disney Plus? How much is that?
It's going up this week. I think it's like.
It's only cheap. It's only
like
a few bucks, $10 or something.
I don't want to be wrong, but it has. I think at the moment, it's only. I think at the moment it's like $8 or $9, but they're putting it up by a few bucks a month now.
Which is not a lot of money for
no, exactly right.
A whole gamut of bloody of entertainment.
Well, they're doubling the output with Star this week, so that's why they're putting the price up, which is fair.
Yeah, exactly right.
I think so.
So that's designed. Not only is it designed for being the TV show, it's designed to keep you engaged on their streaming service and paying for it.
That's what TV shows were anyway.
Exactly
the networks were having to get the ratings every week.
I mean, you look at Foxtel.
Yeah.
We were paying for Foxtel. I'm not telling you what we're paying for that every bloody month.
Yeah.
It's cost me a fortune. And it all used to be ad-free.
Yeah.
Now, it's an old TV format.
Ads. Yeah.
You'll have in a half hour episode of a show, you'll have 2 ad breaks.
Yep.
That might go for 3 or 4 minutes each. So here you are, you're paying for it, and they're also getting advertising revenue.
Yeah.
Whereas on these streaming services, you're paying for it, but you're not getting not getting ads and all that sort of stuff.
That's an example of an old model that we can get rid of because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Right? Binging works, but the old format of viewing something week by week still works for specific shows. It's not inconvenient.
Right.
Don't come at me with, it's so inconvenient to watch this show for 9
weeks. Well, if it's
weeks
inconvenient, just don't watch it until the last episode's been dropped and then watch it.
That's also what's smart about it, because no one's going to do that, because people want to be up to date with it.
That's
they want to be in this conversation, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot into why this show is a week by week thing, but I think the way they've structured it perfectly works for a week by week structure. Again, you can pick and choose which ones are going to work for what format. But don't say it's an outdated format or it's a inconvenient format, because it still works. Look at, even us right here, we've been talking about this for 30 minutes. Even this discourse here about, arguing with other people about does this show work, that's all part of the conversation.
Yep.
Right now, we're part of the conversation of the program.
Right.
And this program, it's not, the discussion about this is not just about, what's happening in the program. It's about what is this program doing on a larger scale when it comes to film and entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're at this time, this hinge where things could go either way, and we've seen it like expedited with the pandemic and everything.
Yeah.
It's just in a very strange time.
Liam Sharman Verrall.
Yeah.
Verrall, however it's pronounced. Thanks for sending a question in.
Thank
You're
you,
going into a government-funded sealed container for a psychological study for 90 days. We're in lockdown.
Pretty
True
much.
life.
Yeah.
You can pick a favourite album, a favourite movie, and a favourite TV show. Only one season. a favourite drink, and a favourite snack. These are the only things you will consume for 90 days. What are your choices? I want to hear Old Man Rick's about you, okay?
Okay. Keep up the good shit, he says. Thanks, Liam. Okay, so for me, should have thought about this beforehand. Favourite movie, got to take something like, I reckon I would take in like the Avengers, maybe Avengers. Which one? Which one could you watch over and over again? Maybe Infinity War. That's a good one. It's long as well. So you get a bit more time to enjoy the movie there. I would take in a TV show. Ooh, only one season of it though. It's got to be like Friends is like my favourite show. Or maybe The Simpsons. Something that's just going to be fun and light and enjoyable. Let me take in The Simpsons. Let me take like season 8 of The Simpsons. I feel like that was a pretty good season right there. And then we'll take in a favourite album. Oh, what would I take? That's hard. Maybe a Coldplay album. Viva La Vida is probably my favourite album. I would have to take that in. And then favourite drink, I would take in Coca-Cola, vanilla Coke. Nice, enjoyable vanilla Coke. And a snack, a bag of chips, chicken chips.
No, it wouldn't be chicken, would it? It'd be honey soy.
Honey soy chicken, yeah. That's
there you go.
My favourite at the moment. I think that's me.
Okay, so favourite album for me, probably Beatles' Help.
Yeah.
I would think.
Help?
Yeah.
That's a surprise.
Yeah, I listened to it the other day driving home from work and I really enjoyed it again.
I thought you might have said Get Back or something like that.
Well, what's on? It's on Help.
No, Help's the soundtrack for the movie.
No. Let It Be. Sorry,
Let
not
It Be.
Help.
Let It Be album.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Let It Be
yeah,
album.
yeah.
Sorry, my fault. Let It Be.
Yeah.
Movie. Oh, God, I don't know what I would take it as a movie. Maybe it'd have to be something nice and long and epic.
Yeah.
Maybe Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, nice long one.
Or even Across the Universe or something like that anyway.
Yep.
Probably Apocalypse Now. TV show. Probably maybe first season of Breaking Bad.
You only got 13 episodes of that too, so you got to watch 13 episodes on loop. See, I picked Friends. You got 25 eps there.
Yeah, but they're only half-hour episodes.
That's true. Yeah.
So we've basically got the same amount of watch time.
That's true. Yep.
Favourite drink would be probably vodka, lime and soda.
Oh yeah.
either that or Pepsi Max, one or the other.
Yeah.
And a snack. Probably either just a packet of chicken chips.
Yeah.
Or a packet of Cheezels.
Oh yeah.
Or a packet of Lollygobble Bliss Bombs.
Oh yeah. Which is probably an Australian thing, I'd imagine.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Lollygobble Bliss Bombs, they're popcorn covered in caramel and nuts, basically.
Yeah. You can get them overseas. You can get that kind of thing overseas.
Well, you can't get
that
Bliss
Orville Reckenbacker, or what his name is. That's an American brand.
Yeah, but they actually taste different.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. Yeah, it's different, but it's that same sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's like a caramelized
So there'd be
popcorn.
something like that, I would think, for me.
Well, there you go.
Is it all? Yeah, cool.
Yeah, thanks, Liam.
Awesome.
We got one.
That was a good question, that.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah.
Thanks again for listening to the Best of the Dave Lee Down Under podcast 2021. Next week we'll be returning with the very first brand new episode of 2022. I hope you'll join us for that one. Until then, take care.